Okay, dear friends, I think we are ready to go. So dear friends, alumni, speakers, and all people who are watching us online, let me welcome you on our Alumni Student Forum. Unfortunately, we are unable to gather all our alumni in our alma mater, so we are doing this online with all safety precautions. And before we start, let's have a moment for silence for our students who passed away in Turkestan region. Thank you. Please be seated. And now I think it's my pleasure to give the word to start this event, to this forum, to the president of Nazarbayev University, Mr. Shigeo Katsu.
Thank you, Arman. And first of all, my thanks to the Alumni Association for hosting today's event. As we know, we are starting under very unfortunate circumstances with the loss of 4 of our, the future leaders of Kazakhstan that perished. We all feel their loss really with very much pain in our hearts. But we want to recognize them separately. And today we are gathering here a year late, in a way, to celebrate actually our 10th anniversary. And I think it is sort of comes at an opportune time, because as you all know, July 6th is Astana Day. It's the birthday also of our founder. And I think it's a great occasion to pay fitting tribute to this bold initiative, and we are going to talk about it a little bit later. I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules, and of course also those who cannot join us in person but follow us online. Everybody here and online is part and parcel of Nazarbayev University. You are all the building blocks. So I want to thank you for that. But I will talk about it a little bit later. Just let me welcome you all, and let's have a little bit of a reflection and retrospective as to what has allowed us to be here, and talk a little bit about the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, President Katsu. Dear friends, dear viewers, so we are now ready to start our event. So let me start with some small videos. As you know, last year our beloved Nazarbayev University celebrated its 10th anniversary. It was the first decade of our big community, maybe not big, small, but young and very active community. Unfortunately, we couldn't, also due to the pandemic, we couldn't celebrate it together. But many people wanted to congratulate Nazarbayev University with its 10th years. So please, we are happy to present you a video from Mr. Frederick Starr, Chairman of Central Asia Caucasus Institute, member of a new Board of Trustees. So please.
Mr. First President, Obasi, you have lived already a long and productive life, and you're now beginning your 9th decade. So let me congratulate you on your birthday. The list of deeds of which you can be truly proud is a long one. Few men of your generation have achieved more. But I would suggest that near the top of that list is your decision to found Nazarbayev University. This was a bold initiative, and it has already directly affected positively the lives of thousands of students and indirectly the lives of tens of thousands more. It was perfectly timed, carefully conceived, well led, and implemented in a very intelligent manner. So let me, as a trustee, suggest that this will be one of the jewels of your legacy. As someone who is now 81 years old, let me congratulate you, my younger colleague, and suggest that the best is yet to come. Happy birthday.
On behalf of the National University of Singapore, my warmest congratulations to Nazarbayev University on her landmark 10th anniversary. Over the past decade, NU has established itself as a leader in education, research, and innovation, particularly within the vast and rapidly developing Euro-Asia sector. NU is also taking the lead to propel Kazakhstan's higher education system to global standards to meet the challenges of an increasingly complex world. I'm also pleased to note that our long-standing partnership with Nazarbayev University in the arena of public policy education remains strong and vibrant. Through our Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, we have partnered the establishment of NU's Graduate School of Public Policy, the first of its kind in Central Asia. COVID-19 has impacted us all, but NU has remained steadfast in its commitment of contributing positively and meaningfully to Kazakhstan's growth and development, and to advancing science and knowledge across Eurasia and the world. To the faculty, staff, and students of Nazarbayev University, I wish you every success ahead. I'm confident that you will discover many opportunities to contribute to your communities and help make the world more resilient, sustainable, and prosperous. Congratulations.
We also, thanks Mr. Tan. There is only one part that what is missing before we start. That's the part where I introduce myself. So my name is Arman Kankabay. I'm also the graduate of Nazarbayev University class of 2015, School of Humanities and Social Sciences. And now I'm working as an executive director for a new alumni association. And we are happy to, together with our university, have this kind of forum. So, okay, the formal part is done. So let me now, before I give a stage, I just want to make one remark for all our viewers. We have an interactive forum, so if you have any questions to the speakers, to the President Katsu, or any other questions you want to address to the university, you can write them on the comment or send them to our to the number that you will see on YouTube.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good morning. Oh, our real veterans, okay. 16, okay, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, okay, good. You all carry our DNA, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, okay? Those of you who are from our very, very first cohort, I'm sure that you remember when you first entered and signed up and entered, and you tried to go to the dorm. And maybe I will ask Khadija later to share a story as to how they had worked so hard to get the dorms ready, transporting the mattresses so that our first cohort students could actually be accommodated. So from that day, those early days, I think we've come a long way. And I'm going to have a little presentation. Now, how many of you were actually in Almaty when we had a little alumni gathering in February? Okay. Bear with me. I will make the story a little bit more varied, but bear with me if you've already seen this once. Right? So this is often a presentation that when I'm asked as to what is Nazarbayev University about, and I try to explain, well, it's sort of a real big project to build a new university in the big step that is Kazakhstan, and it actually represents the first president's bold gamble and his legacy. And you heard some of the legacy dimensions, but also the bold aspect in Professor Fred Starr's allocution. Now, this is where we are today, in a way. Okay? What we are today is actually an overall system. If it works, yeah. Over there you see on top of the right a new system. Because what started out as a university actually is now a much more enmeshed system of university, our medical cluster, our innovation, cluster, as well as we also, yes, through our endowment, have made our foray into the financial services side. And you all know Jusan, as a brand name. By the way, I will talk about that a little bit later. But so, and here, what you see is that over the just 10-year period, we've become pretty much a little bit of a conglomerate almost. And it shows you what the commitment and the vision of our founder actually was when he pushed us into becoming something that is much bigger than just a university. And the significance of it is what I'm going to talk about when I talk about the future part, okay? Now, in 2030, this is 10 years from now, this is how I, in a way, envisage our system to evolve, where indeed we are all going to be part of a more balanced ecosystem. What we're building is an ecosystem and centered around human capital and digital technologies. And where all of them are enmeshed so that together we will build a system that hopefully will propel Kazakhstan forward, and I talk about it a little bit later. Okay? So this is where we want to be. Keep that in mind for a little bit later. Now, it's also a good opportunity, however, to think about where we had all started. And, as you know, it was in 2006 that our first president addressed the nation and said, okay, I want to give it one more shot. Let's create a world-class university. And people said, oh, but we've created so many universities already. What's the difference? What's going to be different this time? Okay? And, Bolashak program was thriving and so on. And he said, well, I really want something that will really be, we will all be remembered by. Okay? Now, this is something that a former colleague of mine at the World Bank sort of developed. It's very commonsensical. Basically, he says universities, how to build top-class universities, talent, you have to get talent, you've got to get resources, and good governance. And actually, it's increasingly, the good governance dimension is really going to be the important one. I see Laura is nodding her head because she is now going to be faced with, indeed, making sure that this triangle or these three wheels are going to be pulled together in a university here. But of course, it's easy to talk about it, and doing it is a little bit more complicated. And now this is where, in a way, the bold, in a way, gamble in element comes through. First, and this is a very enabling factor, because of the political support and commitment of our founder, we were able to get the special Nazarbayev University law. And for the first time in post-Soviet space, academic freedom and institutional autonomy was legally enshrined. Now, 10 years later, all of you, actually all of us, take this for granted because it's been with us from the very beginning. Okay? But I can assure you that when this was passed, the law was passed, many people, lawmakers, were not really convinced that that was a good idea. Okay? They were saying that, and what does it mean? The Minister of Education and Science is not going to exercise its authority over this new university, you know, and so. But also, the bold part also is that in 2011, when we had just opened our foundation program, not even before we started our first undergraduate year, this law was passed and Bolshak undergraduate window was closed pretty much, and everybody was told, okay, apply to this new university, no? And nobody really knew at that time what the quality of the program would be. So it was a real bold gamble. We all were jumping off a cliff together. And I'm in particular grateful to all of you who joined us in the first years, because especially the 2000 first cohort actually still had a choice. They could choose whether they wanted to go abroad or they wanted to come to Nazarbayev University. So, and you said the 2015 pioneers led to the 2016 second cohort pioneers and so on. But that was really a bold gamble. On our side, it put just a little bit of pressure on us because failure was not an option. Okay? And in return for these enabling conditions or enabling environment to be set up, there was sort of what I would call a compact between us and the authorities, and those are the well-known 5 mandates that we have been carrying from the beginning: leading educational reform. Sometimes we even had a minister of education who came out of it, leading education. As you know, Aslan Salinjipov, who was instrumental in setting up the university as leading the whole team at the time, he became Minister of Education for his sins, as you know. So we take it literally when we say education reform leadership. But academic excellence, research excellence, also moving into an integrated academic healthcare system, and Agrim is here, and all of them have been realized actually over the last 7-8 years, and of course innovation and translating research into production is one of our big tasks ahead still. These are sort of what I would call the building blocks, but also the key factors for our success so far. And we talked about the law, but importantly for research university, and our provost repeats it all the time, we have to really stick to merit. We have to stick to academic integrity and transparency, and of course, integrate teaching and research. Those are key elements that allow us to move forward on the research path. But what was also important was that the decision was taken from the very beginning to use English as a language of instruction and research. I know it may have been tough for some of you in the very beginning because it required a little bit of a change in mindset. But what it has achieved is, for the first time almost, international research results were made available in real time and accessible to young scholars like you here, without any time gap. And that is really, really important to note. Strategic partnerships, you all also, many of you went to probably Wisconsin and other places. Our strategic partners helped us in setting up a university that was, built from the ground up. But importantly, we always told them, please, no branch campuses. We need to develop our own identity from the very beginning, very important. And please help us to recruit faculty, to help us design our programs and so on. But of course, nothing would really be there without our values, and values leading to the graduate attributes. How hopefully all of you are known as now you are successful professionals and also pursuing your studies. Do you remember some of the graduate attributes? Deafening silence? Okay, I'm sure that in your hearts you can recite them. But in some ways, when you ask me what is sort of the DNA of NU, I sort of boil it down to, commitment to merit, integrity, passion, okay? Passion to, to whatever you do. And then, obviously, you have the aspects of commitment to service and making a difference, okay, on top of these. So those are some of the reflected in the graduate attributes, and I hope those are the things that you will carry forward. Okay? Now, I'm going to skip all these slides because you all know them. These are sort of the development of our institution over the years in 3 phases, and you see how gradually we started to integrate everything. And this is sort of a more verbal explanation of where we are today. As you know, now we have 7 cohorts of graduates. We have almost 6,000 graduates, but also almost 6,000 students. So we're getting there. In a few years, actually, we are going to be, in terms of numbers, we will catch up with the Boroshak community as well. Okay? And all of our students, I always felt that because we were lucky, we could attract the top talent in the country, top graduates from our high schools, and so I've always been telling our faculty, okay, please, let's not screw up. We get top talent. In theory, we should also be able to graduate top talent, no? And indeed, you all have been able to go to the top international universities for your advanced studies, but also are very successful either entrepreneurs now or working in top companies. You are our ambassadors, okay? And we are also a mini United Nations when it comes to our faculty. Almost 60 nationalities or countries are represented. And in a way, it's a little bit of an inverse pyramid. Normally, when you go abroad or anywhere and talk about international universities, you have more of a big international student body. And faculty tends to be, depending on where you are less, international. In our case, it's really an inverted pyramid. Now, which one is better? Time will tell, but we have to work on this internationalization of the student body side as well. So, very briefly, I'm not going to talk about the research side because I'm going to ask our provost to later answer your questions on research. Academic medical system also is on its way. We are now being recognized increasingly as an academic medical center. Actually, I just read a letter whereby our Vice President Medicine, Pignatelli, has been appointed as this coming year's chair of the International Academic Medical Centers Association. So it's a good recognition that we are on our way. Importantly, our ecosystem for innovation starts to take off. There are more than 100 startups. They collected more than $1 million in funding, and now we are going to busily, and Baujan is one of our serial entrepreneurs, you know, and startup guys. So you can tell us maybe a story or two. And we also start to be integrated much more in the international academic scene. We are members, founding members of the Asian Universities Alliance, and you had just the congratulatory words of the president of the National University of Singapore. They are some of our partners, together with Tsinghua University, Beijing University, University of Tokyo, and of National University of Korea, and so on. It is important for us not to just look to US partners, but also increasingly also be integrated with our Asian partners, because those are the guys with whom we are going to cooperate, but also compete in the future. And of course, at the same time, we also are about to become members of the European University Association, and they already are working with us in terms of our benchmarking on where we are. I talked about this part here, and just a few words about our goals. This is part of our strategy. And important there, you see the internationalization part. We really have an ambitious goal to bring international students here. And it's not just bringing international students here, obviously. It's good for our students to, on a daily basis, to have interaction with, you know, international colleagues, because the one thing that we cannot do is, like Boroshak, is to have this full 24-hour immersion abroad. So we want to bring Boroshak here in some ways. But also, brain gain, by getting top international brains here, we want to make sure that Kazakhstan's, you know, society, economy is going to gain with the influx of international talent. At the same time that people are worried about brain drain, you know, the world is a global society. When we talk about some of the key research directions that Provost will talk about, be it AI, big data, or be it you know, biomedical research, all these things, we need as much talent as we can collect. Okay? So internationalization is important. Accreditation, obviously, is one of the key things, because we want to make sure that it's not only us or others who say you are good. It has to be objectively valued. And then we're going to try to really make a mark on research. And in order to do so, our provost always says research costs money. And therefore, we need to compete for research funding. And you know, you have heard that President Tokayev also said, oh, by 2025, we're going to raise our budget expenditures for research and development to 1% of GDP. 1% of GDP by 2025 would be somewhere over 2-point-some billion. And we want to at least compete for 10% of that slice. So that's where it comes from. And, you know, we are going to have a stronger presence in Almaty. Our founder, but also our chairman, have already been announcing, and internationally, I was with him abroad recently, and he was already telling people, okay, in September, we're going to announce the creation of an AI university in Almaty, now, which is going to be part of Nazarbayev University. So we are going to think about how we are actually not going to, we are thinking, we are planning on how to go about it, okay? But we're going to combine it with executive education, new forms of education, and we want to experiment a lot in Almaty as well. And obviously, all of this combined hopefully will lead to help us propel us forward in terms of our goal of our global rankings. Because that is, we don't necessarily like to play the league table games, but we understand it is part of, it's sort of a proxy for reputation. So, okay, we better do it. But importantly here, having been a part because of Nazarbayev University Law, we're going to move into a much more collaborative mode with the other universities. Capacity building is important. It is important for us, for our own sake, so that by 2030, we can really create a strong network of strong universities, because then together we can do our research and other collaboration internationally. In order to get us there, 2 years ago, we already launched our transformation exercise, because in today's VUCA world, fast changing, no system can stay long. I mean, we cannot simply stagnate, so we do a lot of the transformation, including you saw some of, the future graduates will see it. In 2018-19, we introduced a common core curriculum for first, second year students and so on. We also reorganized the schools. So I told you about this. Now, importantly, why is it this part important? And, oops, that's what's at stake. I say, failure is not an option. And I'm addressing this in particular to you, our alumni. Okay? Just simply because you graduated from Nazarbayev University is not the end of the road, it's just the beginning. Okay? And it looks a little bit busy, but you all know, for Kazakhstan's future, we need to help re-engineer the whole structure of the economic system. It's too long that the country has been dependent on oil and gas and mining and some agriculture products. With climate change, Paris Agreement, everything, SDG goals and so, you cannot continue. Even internationally, Kazakhstan will have to convert itself. Energy transition is just a key word there. And so what's going to be the future driving force for Kazakhstan? We need to try to help create an economy and structure that is basically human capital based, which then can derive or yield digital based but high quality services through basically AI being everywhere, the greening of the industry side, and of course pushing forward a new vision of the private sector. Okay? All these things in our view are important goals in order to fulfill some of the key challenges that the first president also laid to the nation in terms of Kazakhstan to join the top 30 most advanced nations by 2050. Of course, there are some prerequisites and conditions that need to be fulfilled, and most of them are related to institutional reforms in the country. Why do I show this picture? Because it's your future. Okay? You guys are the ones who have to make this happen. Nazarbayev universities have been trying to help you to create some of your intellectual foundations and your passion and commitment to change. But in a way, we always have been given the mandate of being sort of an incubator, educational incubator, social incubator, innovation incubator, all these other things. This is what the final product ought to be. And it's not me, it's not Provost or anybody, our generation, it's your generation. Okay? You guys have to make it happen. All right? That's why, you know, you are going to be the heart and soul, and you're going to carry forward Nazarbayev University's DNA and use it in order to transform Kazakhstan and modernize it. Okay? So that's what's at stake. And failure is not an option. All right? So let me conclude my talk here. We can have questions and answers, but before I go to questions and answers, maybe Provost Ade, come on, say a few words about the key directions on research and what you do.
Good morning, everybody. Bari Jaksuma? Bari Jaksu? Good, good. Keremiat, good. Research is the heart of, oh, go back? Okay. Sure. It's okay? Research is the heart of any great university. When you think of, many of you have gone to Cambridge, you've gone to Oxford, MIT, Stanford, the key element that distinguishes them is the brain power and the manpower, and lies on the productivity of the professors and the students. When you see on the board, there says talents, talents, talents. It's talent across the spectrum, whether it's the student, the professor, and also the staff that helps manage all the issues within the university. So many of us came because of the opportunity to build an international research university in Central Asia that has all the attributes that you've seen there. Okay? What are the elements for us that we believe are very important? We've been looking at the research, we've met, we said, okay, what are the key elements of the research agenda for Nazarbayev University over the next many years? One is economic transformation and human capital development. That's what you've seen there. One is intelligent systems, which is AI. You've heard of AI, data systems. It's now becoming an infrastructure, not just for technology, but human life. AI is becoming an infrastructure for human life. The other one is advanced materials and emerging technologies. Kazakhstan sits on top of the periodic table. So how do we take everything inside the soil and have value added so it becomes productive for the economy of the country? Okay, so that's one. The other is energy, environment, and sustainability. They all go hand in hand. Okay, they all go hand in hand. So these are all the elements. And the last one is health and wellness. Not just medicine, but wellness. Okay? There's a spectrum of things that go with wellness. Mindfulness, wellness, psychiatry, everything. Okay? So those are the 5 elements: economic transformation, materials, health and wellness, energy, sustainability, and intelligent systems. So if you have time, anytime, you can come back and go to the building called C4, just across from this building. We call it Interdisciplinary Research Building, IRB. We're instrumenting it. We're making sure that it is world-class. Many of the equipment we have there that we are coming are the only ones in Kazakhstan. So we're not only creating it for ourselves, but also inviting other universities in Kazakhstan to use the equipment. So students can come and use it here. So I'm sure in a few years, this place will be competitive in terms of research. We'll be able to bring colleagues from across the world to come and do their work here, whether it's sabbatical, students come and exchange PhD students. So the ground is ripe for all of you to get in. You've gotten your degrees, but get involved with us. It is very important. As Shigeo says, this is your future. If your DNA is inside you, how do you propagate it forward? And also imbue the students that we have to really achieve, to go forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ade.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. President. I think we are now ready to move to the question and answer session. So, dear friends, dear viewers, if you have any questions, you may write them on the comments on our YouTube channel or send them via WhatsApp or Telegram on the number you see on your screens. Okay, we already have some questions on our YouTube channel, so I would like to address them, I think, to the President Katsu. So, President Katsu, if you will be so pleased to answer these questions. The first question will be, I think the question was about the research, and I think Provost answered it, the first question. The second question is, how ENU is translating its experience to other Kazakhstani universities?
Thank you for an excellent question, and actually I have an expert here. So I will ask Khadija to help respond to this question as to how are we translating our experience with others.
Okay.
Thank you very much. First of all, really, I would like to say hello, dear former students, alumni of Nazarbayev University, and thank you for your question. Yes, it's our objective. It's not just our wish to share our experience. We were designed, as Shigeo Katsu said, as a model for sharing with other universities. And you saw the picture. By 2030, we want to be one of great universities of Kazakhstan, not only one university. What we do? All right, let me start from recent things. Do you know that we have become a forge for rectors, for leaders of universities? Do you know that recently several of our graduates and our staff members were appointed rectors of pedagogical universities? We have here pro-rector of Aktobe State University, Laura. And you know, there is a joke. We started producing baby rectors. And actually, I think it's a good thing. Why? Only because you see, all the knowledge, all the skills obtained here, and 8 attributes you really gained here, now you can translate into Kazakhstan's system of education, and all of you. I really want to thank those graduates who are working at schools as teachers, at Nazarbayev intellectual schools, other schools, working in the government. All of you are really participating in this work. What we do, we have regular meetings, webinars, seminars with Kazakhstan universities. We have a special platform for sharing our experiences, whether under the Ministry of Education and our own. Each department, the academic part, non-academic, we share everything generously and openly. This is what we do. And as you know, many universities already started introducing, but from the very beginning, do you know which part of the universities actually tried to copy us? Any guesses? Library. First, there were librarians of Kazakhstan universities who started really mirroring and copying what we do here at Nazarbayev University. Since then, our library has become a platform, a training center for the librarians of Kazakhstan universities and regional universities. The next was our registrar's office. You know that the registrar's office is the core and heart of the university. You are all familiar what it means, how to work with registrar. And I can continue and continue, but the main thing are people. One of our graduates and our staff members now has become Vice Minister of Education. I'm speaking about Qanish Bek. Qanish Irgaliyev, and so on and so forth. And Shigeo mentioned about Aslan Sarinzhipov. And you know, there are so many things, and those who are working at universities, we will be more than happy to work with you and cooperate, establishing contracts, not contracts, but memorandums of understanding, which we already do. And even if it comes to student services, Do you know that our Department of Student Services, now it is Department of Student, it was Department of Student Affairs, now Department of Student Services, actively working with other departments, really involved in helping students and providing services to students. Not only the academic part is very, very popular. One of the main parts, principles of Nazarbayev University is merit-based principle and integrity. And Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, Loretta O'Donnell, is leading that work with Kazakhstan universities. First, we started with KazGU. As you know, why not to start, if we speak about integrity, why not to start with future lawyers? And because of this unfortunately pandemic, we stopped having physical conferences, but we do continue working with Kazakhstan universities online. I may continue and thank you, Shigeo, for giving me this opportunity, but for those who are interested in how we work with universities, now, since sharing experience is a strategic goal of the university, now it has been moved to under the president of the university, which is the right thing to do. And they coupled with strategic planning. I think it's the right thing. And that's why colleagues I have been working with now is under the president of the university. But of course, as a part of the university, I personally continue working. I'm not speaking only about academic, pedagogical universities, others. I'm also speaking, the first were the medical universities. And Massimo really created, maybe not formally yet, association of medical universities. And of course, the core and the leader of translation is our Graduate School of Education. And again, thank you very much. And so nice to see you. And I wish you all good health, all the best. And please continue representing our university to the best of your abilities and capabilities. And hope to see you in the future again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yes, so yeah, we have already more questions. I will try to group them. So the next question is going to be regarding the next semester and the offline semester, if it's possible, if it's going to be. So when I will address 3 questions. When NU is planning to open campus for students and staff, and what are the plans for the offline semester? How is it going to work if quarantine is still be on? So President Katso, I think that's the question.
Thank you. First of all, it's great that our alumni continue to have a great interest in our institution, that they are concerned about what's going to happen in the fall. I take it that probably a good number of our undergraduates, our bachelors, probably move on to our graduate programs. So there's obviously a vested interest there as well. Obviously we have to consider a number of factors. Where does the pandemic stand? What is the status on our campus in particular? Can we ensure the safety and well-being of everybody who is here on campus? As you know, we are a residential campus, and we have residents, we have students residents, but we also have our faculty and staff residents here. And our faculty and staff residents have all age groups there, so we have to pay particular attention to their well-being as well. So it makes the management of the overall campus health well-being a little bit complicated, so we have to take that one into account. But also importantly, even though the transformation or the shift from offline physical teaching to online, with all the issues that we've had. But overall, I think it's been quite remarkable as to how swift this transition has taken place. But it also has come at a heavy cost. Many of our students are coming or studying in circumstances which are certainly not very good. They have to compete for their computer time at home. with siblings, even sometimes parents, and so internet connection is not very good, it's noisy, they may actually back home have to help chip in and help in, during the day with work and all these very things. And then obviously learning things, some people are good, but many people, they need this physical interaction in order to also concentrate on their studies and so. And what we started to note is, in particular among our younger students, we are very concerned about the mental health dimensions of what now basically 15, 16 months of not being able to come to campus, not being able to have in-person interactions with the professors and so all these impacts, and in particular not being able to really interact with the peer groups or even with the older students. All of this, we have to keep in mind and try to find the best way on how we're going to manage in the fall. So that's why we decided to go towards a hybrid form, and we will start to bring in particular, those students that we are concerned about who've never really may have had a new on-campus experience. And those are, for instance, second-year graduate school, students, or second-year undergraduate students, because last year was fully just online, and so. And of course, those students who need access to laboratories, as well as the graduating students. So we will bring them on back to campus first. We will then see how the situation evolves. And in a way, ideally, by January, the spring semester next year, we will hopefully be able to be fully offline. But in order to do so, we need everybody to also be vaccinated. Very, very important. Okay? I know that there is some hesitancy, but the benefits of being vaccinated, not just for yourself, but also for those around you, are so overwhelming. So please do get vaccinated. Okay? Very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edgar. I think we will have just two maybe more questions, and then we will move to the next part. Okay, so the next question was, what is the current status of the accreditation of Nazarbayev University?
Okay, accreditation is very important, obviously. And the way we are doing it now is, first we look at program accreditation. Those programs where you have international accrediting bodies, for instance, be it on the business school side or public policy schools, and so we are pursuing that. On the STEM side, the engineering gold standard is the ABET, the US ABET standard, and a task force has been put together under Mr. Provost, under Ade, to start putting all the information together and preparing for ABET accreditation. Now, ABET also does some of the basic sciences as well, so we are going to do both ABET accreditation for our sciences part, but also when there are professional societies, such as, for instance, the American Chemical Society, and so we will also pursue that accreditation. So that is in a way underway. Graduate School of Public Policy already has been accredited in Europe. Businesses for Asia is underway. They're now looking at US and Europe. Our foundation program in terms of the English language and so has already been accredited in the UK. It means that some of our foundation program graduates could also immediately then be accepted in the UK as well, in many of the Russell universities. So that's the current status. And then we will move to institutional accreditation.
Okay, and I think the other question is more conceptual question, is regarding the new administration is dealing with Nazarbayev University bubble. I think that the
One more time.
with Nazarbayev University bubble. I think that the university is very isolated, so
Yes.
so the students feel like they're in bubble. Yes, and how university is dealing with that, is dealing with that. I think that was the question.
You guys are the alumni. You did feel in the bubble? Yeah?
Maybe.
Some say yes, some shake their heads. Okay. I think for many, indeed, it is a bubble. And I think adjusting to the world outside may be rough. How many of you found it rough to adjust to the world outside? Laura, okay. Any others? I think, it's one of the huge benefits, but also a little bit of a curse of being here. Because while you're here, you don't worry about, am I allowed to ask this question? Am I allowed to speak out? Am I allowed to, think this way? But then when you graduate and start to work or go to another organization, and then there's a rude awakening and said, hello, this is not how society works, no? So there is this tension there, but in a way it's something that everybody has to go through. It's a rite of passage. And I do have immense trust in all of you, our students, that it may take in the beginning a little bit of effort, but I think this adjustment should actually be with your commitment and passion and intellect and integrity. I think it should be possible. And so, yeah, I mean, bubble is good. Yeah, and then Provost says, all universities are bubbles, because in a way it's also this particular period in your life. You entered as teenagers, if you entered as undergraduates, you graduate as young adults, but before you really start your work experience, so you're in a way in transitioning. And in this transition period, you are definitely in the bubble in that sense. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the questions for right now is over. I think we will have the time for the other questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, President Katz. Okay, now I think it's time to move to the second part of our forum, when our alumni, our graduates will give their speech. And before we start, let us start this part with the video from my classmate, from the graduate from class of 2015, Ghalem Baytinbetov, who unfortunately couldn't attend today's meeting, but he was like one of the speakers. But he sent us a video, so please welcome the video by Ghalem Baytinbetov. I will read it.
Hello, dear friends. My name is Ghalem. I am graduate of Nazarbayev University. Unfortunately, I couldn't come to this event due to the situation with COVID pandemic, although I really wanted to come. I did chemical engineering at NU and graduated in 2015. After that, I did my master's degree at UCL London, and while I was there, I came up with my startup idea called Aquapoint. At Aquapoint, we aim to popularize drinking water fountains, and our mission is to make water available to everyone. Today, Aquapoint is a leading company in Kazakhstan that specializes on environmentally friendly and advanced drinking water solutions. We have already installed almost 500 drinking water stations all over Kazakhstan. And finally, last year, I made one of my dreams come true. We installed drinking water fountains in Nazarbayev University. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic again, they have not been used yet, but I hope this year you'll find them really useful. When I was asked to prepare a speech, it took me a while to understand what it is that I wanted to say, so I decided to simply share a few facts with you. Most of my favorite life memories are related with time spent at Nazarbayev University. Every single time we meet with other alumni students, we would reminisce fun and nostalgic memories. The knowledge and skills that I received here formed and shaped me, so today I am who I am only because of Nazarbayev University. All of alumni students I know do amazing projects, work at best companies, have active life position, and do socially important projects. So to me, Nazarbayev University becomes synonymous with quality. In 10 years' time, our university has changed the lives of thousands of people and has already made a significant contribution to the development of Kazakhstan. So I cannot even imagine how great will it be in another 10 years. I believe the growth will be exponential. I am really grateful for being part of our university. I have always been proud to be alumnus, and I want to thank every person that makes Nazarbayev University what it is. Management, administration, teaching staff, and of course our incredible students. I wish you all good health and prompt return to university for offline study. Thank you.
If you are ready, some just small, maybe technical pause. And now we are ready to start our second part of the plenary session, and the speeches by our alumni. We have, as President Katsu said, more than 5,000 alumni for this date. And now we'll listen to the notable of them, maybe. Okay, so our first alumni speaker today is a graduate of class of 2018, Nazarbayev University School of Medicine. She is now holding the position of the Deputy CEO of National Cardiac Surgery Center. Please welcome Aygerim Abdivarazova.
Thank you very much. Dear President Katsu, dear organizers and participants of this beautiful event, both here in the hall and on the other side of the screen, it's such a great privilege for me to be able to speak in front of you on behalf of the Nazarbayev University School of Medicine alumni. It's interesting how the right encounters can change your way of thinking. Only 3 years ago, we stood right here in this building, happy to have finished our studies, excited and maybe a little scared at what the future might hold. I then couldn't help but think about my journey into that graduation day. Back in 2014, after graduating from a university in the UK, I entered the world of work as a bright-eyed graduate and learned of just how difficult it is to get a job. Many applications and interviews later, I was fortunate enough to join the team of, if I may say so, some of the finest medical workers in Kazakhstan, those of the National Research Cardiac Surgery Center. I must admit, during that time, as an ambitious young professional, I was adamant that after fulfilling my Bolashak contract terms, my future lay elsewhere, and I would move to another country and build a career there. Then one day, during a general meeting at work, I heard a speech by the chief and founder of the hospital I was working at, Dr. Yuri Pya, in which he said, "It's easy to go to a developed country where everything is already set up, everything is comfortable, and you just need to go with the flow. But true success is when you create and develop a system on your own from scratch. Yes, it brings many challenges and difficulties, but if you manage to overcome them, the results will make you so much more fulfilled and accomplished. In Kazakhstan, there are endless possibilities to build such system and to work towards making a meaningful change to your environment," he said. To me at the time, it sounded too idealistic, even impossible to achieve. I honestly didn't believe that one can achieve anything here without conforming to a system where sometimes money talks or gaining success from knowing the right person. But whilst working in the hospital, I started to realize that it's not all that bad. I witnessed how the management of the hospital and everyone who works there actually were interested in making a difference. Then they were planning and taking suitable actions to do so. At times, it felt like it's the only place in Kazakhstan where the controversial Kazakh mentality doesn't exist. It's interesting how the right encounters can change your way of thinking. I then entered Nazarbayev University to pursue a master's degree. Here I met very talented and eager young minds. I studied under supervision of world-class professors. And step by step, I started to realize that there are more organizations and people in Kazakhstan that are driven by the idea of developing and improving systems in our country and thus our country as a whole. I learned that these values, nurtured by the Nazarbayev University, are shared throughout the whole NU community. If before my time here, I was confident that no single person can change the entire system, then I started to think that if people like these join forces, if they use the knowledge that they have gained and act towards making a difference, then it is possible to achieve what Dr. Pia was talking about. I now believe that these thoughts are shared by many of the Nazarbayev University School of Medicine alumni peers. Many of us are now employed in different healthcare sectors across the country, in hospitals, Ministry of Health structures, NGOs like World Health Organization. And this is one of the biggest advantages that Nazarbayev University gives, besides world-class knowledge and skills. We have built a successful network of young professionals working in different fields. Not only do we still keep in touch with course mates and professors, but we work together now, cooperating across different organizations in fields like research, publications, knowledge exchange, and so on. I feel truly privileged that I had the chance to work and study in two of the finest organizations in Kazakhstan. It is interesting how the right encounters can change your way of thinking for the better. Thank you, my dearest alma mater, for inspiring young minds, and happy 10th anniversary.
Thank you very much. Thank you much, Angelim. Thank you, and thank to all medical servants who are working out there in these hard times. Okay, and now let me present you the next speaker, who is an alumni of Graduate School of Education class of 2018, who is now a Vice Rector of Zhubanov University. Please welcome Laura Karabasova.
Dear NU community, dear President Katsu, congratulations on the anniversary and a happy Capital Day. I came to the capital 10 years ago as a young girl from a provincial town and just recently left the city as a provost, even though a baby provost of Zhubanov University, a major university in Western Kazakhstan region. My journey began in 2013 when I completed my master's degree in educational leadership at Warwick University and joined NIS Center for Educational Programs. I was lucky to work with well-known international bilingual education experts like Alan Crawford, Peter Mihista, who inspired and encouraged me to pursue a scholarly career. So I joined in 2014, I joined a PhD program at Graduate School of Education. And my PhD life was very hectic. And many people ask, today journalists asked me how, for my relatively young age, I have a very solid experience. And I said, my PhD life was very hectic. I've been able to work in many large-scale programs. And Kadisha Anatoldievna knows we were able to set up Educational Excellence Center, and Mr. Katsu remembers, there were many questions about the center, and I had some experience in establishing something new. And in 2018, I successfully defended my dissertation, and I became one of the two first postdocs at Graduate School of Education. Thanks to the huge support of NU JC team, I think I've been able to build a very strong profile as a teacher, and I see my students here, and I gained confidence in teaching graduate students. I published several papers in strong Q1 journals and won some research grants. And this year, my postdoc came to a logical end, and I made a very hard decision to go out of the bubble, my comfort zone, and to accept an offer from the Minister of Education to become the Provost for Academic Affairs at Zhebanov University. It's a difficult time for me, it's a challenging time, and over the last, and I know that President Katsu is very anxious about us, very concerned, but I think it's still an acknowledgement of the quality science training here at NU. And I'm thankful to the Minister for empowering and trusting young professionals like me. Over the last 10 years, I've been learning and reading a lot about educational leadership, change management, and the faculty perceptions of change. And I've published some papers, book chapters, but now I'm moving from theory to practice and implementation. Writing about educational change, talking about is one thing, but going to the very micro level of policy making is a different thing. And today, Mr. Katsu mentioned Jamil Salmi's framework about good governance, about abundance of resources, and talent concentration. When I arrived at Zhebanov University, I looked at all these components, and of course, we can't still say about abundances of resources. Governance is changing, you know, and university autonomy. I decided to concentrate on the concentration of talents. And in my first week, I've been working only 2 weeks now, and in my first week, with the support of the rector, I initiated an incentive scheme for Bolashak alumni. And I think Zhebanov University is going to be the first in Kazakhstan to have a special salary package for NU alumni. And I would like to take this opportunity to turn to all NU graduates and invite them to Aktobe region. Because you are driving the energy that the regional university is expecting. All these days, I feel very huge support from a new leadership team. I would like to thank everyone. This is very meaningful and important for me. And big is seen at a distance, right? And being in Aktobe, I've realized that NU is a dream for many people. And I am the first person, I am the first graduate of NU at Zhebanov University. And maybe in Aktobe, very few graduates. And people already know that NU has an established quality culture, and the people admire the university. And I'm very proud and privileged to be a NU alumni, and I'm very happy to be here with you. And honestly, I feel home today. Thank you.
Thank you much, Laura, for your inspiring speech. For those who are thinking about their career path, I think you just get a job offer. So, yeah, thank you very much, Laura. Now let me introduce the next speaker. Next word is given to the graduate of School of Science and Technology, class of 2016, who is now running his own IT company, Cleverest Technology. Please welcome Bauran Osman.
Hello, hello. I'm really anxious now, a little bit nervous. Yes, I'm sorry, but I'm going to talk in Russian and Kazakh language because I want to transmit my ideas directly from my heart to hearts of my people and use this situation as a point for this movement. Меня зовут Бауыржан Оспан. Сейчас я являюсь основателем группы компаний, на самом деле не компании, Арман, я тебя поправлю, группы компаний Cleverest Technologies. Мы занимаемся созданием, я не побоюсь этого слова, созданием индустрии робототехники в Казахстане. То есть со всех сторон, начиная от образования, заканчивая автоматизацией индустрии, проектами в области именно робототехники, создания роботов и так далее. И как мы вообще к этому пришли? Давайте я расскажу свою любовную историю с Назарбаев университетом. Почему она такая? Потому что на самом деле я очень сильно люблю то время, которое я провел в Назарбаев университете. К сожалению, я здесь учился только на undergraduate. Я был вторым потоком. Мы были тем самым потоком, который жил не в общежитии Назарбаев университета, жил в АГС, учился в те времена, когда вокруг ничего не было, была просто степь. Был один шаттл, который приезжал утром, чтобы нас забрать далеко, вон там сейчас на Кирей-Жаныбека находится это здание, и вечером привозить. Вечером, когда мы приходили, это был конец города, все. Простите. Вот, видите, уже на меня наехали. Так вот, на чем я остановился? Мы были теми, кто по-настоящему поверил в Назарбаев университет, потому что, я, по крайней мере, за себя говорю, я не знаю, как за других, потому что это был 2010 год. У меня уже было несколько писем о приеме на учебу от нескольких институтов технологий и технологических университетов, которые довольно известные. Я уже туда поступил, уже готовил документы, у меня был даже financial aid, и к нам приехали несколько человек из Назарбаев университета и говорят: вот смотрите, в прошлом году открыли, сейчас мы все вместе строим. И тогда, знаете, у меня было ощущение типа: вау, новый университет с нуля, они обещают его сделать мирового уровня. Типа, самое сложное, поступить в этот IT-университет где-то за границей. Если уже поступил, значит челлендж закончил. А здесь намного интереснее челлендж. Попробовать стать частью создания такого университета. И сейчас я могу гордо сказать то, что я являюсь продуктом этого университета во всех направлениях, о которых можно сказать. Потому что за свою профессиональную деятельность очень много с чем встречался, и те скиллы, а их можно разделить на 4 части, это hard скиллы, soft скиллы, нетворкинг и мотивация. Эти скиллы очень сильно мне помогли. Я свою первую компанию открыл еще будучи студентом в Назарбаев университете. Это был бородатый 2011 год. Тогда Астана Хаба даже в мыслях еще не было. Он откроется только через лет 5, наверное. Тогда мы подняли первый раунд инвестиций $50 тысяч. Это было довольно много для ребят, которым по 18 лет. И кроме как идеи у нас за спиной ничего не было. И университет, вместо того, чтобы, как делали многие другие университеты в те времена, он не стал, во-первых, выгонять меня из университета, из учебы, позволил мне дальше учиться, во-вторых, дал те самые знания, которые в дальнейшем мне помогли в этом направлении. Что я могу сказать об университете? Да? Во-первых, в этом университете я встретил свою любимую жену. То есть с первого курса мы с ней вместе. В этом университете я встретил свою верную и самую лучшую команду. То есть в группе компании Cleverest Technologies работает Кинджи Гали, Нур Даулет, Бек Султан. Все эти люди, они выпускники Назарбаев университета. То есть мы вместе учились, и как были вместе в самом начале пути, так и до сих пор продолжаем. То есть университет научил меня к тому, что нужно всегда смотреть вперед. То, что начинается как просто кусочек, как одно здание где-то в степи, в 8 километрах от города, может превратиться во что-то очень большое. И мы видели, как этот университет создается, как добавляются блоки, как все улучшается, как с каждым днем что-то становится лучше. И мы, впитав этот опыт, когда мы вышли из университета, когда открыли свои первые компании, обанкротились, жили на краю города в съемных, страшных, тараканистых однокомнатных квартирах по 5 человек, мы верили в то, что это только сейчас. Это просто сейчас, потерпи чуть-чуть. Вот как ты терпел на первом курсе в АГСе, да? Когда выходил вечером в магазин, а на тебя смотрел лиса, стояла и смотрела на тебя, как на большой бургер. Как и тогда, то, что вот было тогда, и превратилось в столь большое, я не побоюсь этого слова, национальный институт. То есть не институт в смысле университет, а именно как организацию, которая меняет Казахстан к лучшему. Так и то, что ты делаешь, может стать лучше. И сейчас, стоя перед вами, я могу сказать то, что какие бы сложности не были за эти 5 лет обучения, я готов, я бы с радостью прошел их еще раз. И теперь возвращаясь к тем скиллам, которые я говорил. То есть, что такое hard skills в Назарбаев университете? В первую очередь вас учат не тому, что, я это говорю ребятам, которые думают поступить в университет, еще обдумывают, я не знаю, зачем вы думаете, обязательно надо пробовать. В этом университете вас не учат знаниям по большей части. То есть, да, знаний очень много дают, но вас учат именно адаптироваться, получать эти знания самим, находить эти знания, учиться всю свою жизнь. И подтверждение этого я могу сказать, свой опыт, потому что кроме моего опыта у меня ничего нет. Это то, что в 2016 году после окончания я робототехник, я учился в ССТ. Как вы понимаете, для выпускников робототехников не было работы в Казахстане. И я скажу так, мы когда шли на эту профессию, мы все это понимали. То есть, если у вас есть друзья робототехники, пожмите им руки, это самые храбрые ребята на свете. Честное слово, можно им даже похлопать, по сути дела. И тогда я решил переквалифицироваться в хакера. То есть была компания информационной безопасности, вы, наверное, все знаете, ЦАРКа. И там тоже, то есть я пришел помощником, и в течение месяца, изучив все эти вопросы, я стал лид-хакером в области хардвер-технологий. То есть буквально месяца хватило для того, чтобы выбраться в топ. То же самое произошло в Миддлсекском университете. Когда меня туда пригласили ресерчером, хотя я ресерчером не являюсь вообще, мне просто было интересно поработать за границей, я там приехал помощником помощника. И буквально за 2 недели я просто своими теми скиллами, хард-скиллами, которые получил в Назарбаев университете, настолько их заинтересовал, то, что через 2 недели мне дали собственный проект. То есть я вышел с собственным пропозалом, его приняли, и сейчас вы можете, в принципе, прогуглить, найти меня. Иногда мне приходят сообщения, вас там цитируют где-то и так далее. Какие-то японцы, испанцы, англичане, я их не знаю, мне это очень странно, но в то же время очень приятно. Я там был лид-ресерчером. И когда, на самом деле, очень много всего разного прошли, и когда в 2017 году мы все собрались, ребята из группы компании Cleverest Technologies, у нас было такое совещание, то есть мы решали на самом деле, ребят, то есть очень много времени прошло, мы видели и хорошее, и плохое, что будем делать? Остаемся в Казахстане или же уезжаем за границу, как некоторые наши знакомые. И тогда мы пришли к выводу, что надо остаться именно в Казахстане, потому что на самом деле, после всего того опыта, который мы получили, здесь наша работа, она важнее. И она интереснее, и она сложнее. То есть поехать куда-то за границу, встать на работу к какому-нибудь дяде с другим гражданством, это на самом деле не так сложно, это легко. Но что-то создать здесь, в Казахстане, а именно продвигать то, что нас учили в Назарбаев университете, то, что мы должны приносить пользу обществу, вот это намного сложнее и это намного лучше. И с того самого времени, с 2017 года, мы беремся чуть ли не за каждый проект, который нам предлагают, если этот проект хоть как-то влияет на качество жизни в Казахстане. Есть около 10 продуктов, на которых мы даже не зарабатываем, мы просто отбиваем свои косты, которые на самом деле нужны Казахстану. То есть, которые могут улучшить качество жизни казахстанца, жителя этой страны. Мы расширили свою географию, сейчас мы делаем продукты для других городов Казахстана, у нас есть продукты для Атырау, для Шымкент, сейчас начали работать с Семипалатинском, то есть мы стараемся, по крайней мере, пока мы молодые, пока есть время, создать как можно больше вещей, которые помогут улучшить качество жизни в Казахстане. И сейчас я это транслирую. Я ни к чему не призываю, но хочу, чтобы вы все послушали тот принцип, которому нас научили в Назарбаев университете, с которым мы живем до сих пор. Я не призываю вас стать частью этого принципа, принять его как истину, хотя бы просто обдумайте. Почему я это хочу сейчас сказать? Я сижу в атриуме до сих пор, да, ВКонтакте, да, я знаю ваши маленькие грязные секретики. Суть в чем? Очень много ребят начало писать о том, что они хотят уехать из Казахстана и так далее. Лично для меня какой это опыт был? Я учился на гранте в Назарбаев университете, я знаю, что это огромные суммы. я получал здесь знания, я получал возможности, я получал те или иные скиллы и инструменты, которые я могу применить сейчас для того, чтобы сделать себя богатым и уехать куда-нибудь за границу. Но я считаю то, что у меня в данный момент очень большой социальный долг перед налогоплательщиками Казахстана, перед вашими соседями, братьями, сестрами, дядями, родителями. И я считаю то, что у вас, скорее всего, тоже такой социальный долг должен быть. В чем проявляется этот социальный долг? Вы должны внести все свои усилия для того, чтобы вернуть этот долг своему народу, своему государству, своим близким. А как вы это можете сделать? Самый эффективный способ – это как раз-таки работать в Казахстане, открывать компании в Казахстане, делать ресерчи в Казахстане. И тогда качество жизни не только вас, но и в принципе всех ваших близких и родных повысится. Это был мой главный месседж. И второй главный месседж – I love you. Всем спасибо.
Thank you, Baurzhan. As we understand from his speech, Russian is his first language. Okay, for those who did not understand, he shared his love story within you. Baurzhan is a good friend of mine, so yeah, it was really warming to hear your speech and about the early years of you. Thank you very much, Baurzhan. But there are right now students and alumni and graduates who are not Russian speaking, not Kazakh Russian speaking. So now I'm happy to introduce to you our international alumni from School of Humanities and Social Sciences, class of 2019. She is currently working as a manager of the Nazarbayev University Office of International Students and Scholar Services. Please welcome Sandra Real.
Can you hear me? Okay. Dear Nazarbayev University community, President Katsu, and distinguished audience, it is a great honor for me to be at this special event today, sharing experiences with hard-working members of our community. Thank you very much for the invitation. Being a member of Nazarbayev University as a student and currently a staff member has been one of the most meaningful and special experiences in my life. And 4 years ago, I couldn't imagine that a childhood dream, where I used to look pictures and search for interesting facts about Central Asia, to collaborate with the Embassy of Kazakhstan in Mexico, to be interested in promoting the language and culture of Kazakhstan, and just to be passionate in traveling with my imagination and hard work and perseverance could have taken me almost 12,000 kilometers away from my home country and to change my life out of sudden. So basically, when I received my admissions offer in 2017, I had only 2 weeks to decide my destiny. Either staying in Mexico, accepting a promotion in the work that I was intending to take, or decides for a lifetime experience on traveling and experience for the first time to be abroad in a different country. Of course, I was so happy and so honored to have the opportunity to study at such a distinguished institution. And of course, many persons ask me, why not staying in Mexico, where we have the National Autonomous University of Mexico, which is one of the best institutions in Latin America? Or why not going to study my major, Eurasian Studies, in the USA, the UK, Germany, Italy, where these are like the most popular destinations for Mexicans? But actually, I may describe myself that I'm not a conventional person. And I'm usually always looking forward for new adventures and new challenges. And since coming to Central Asia was my childhood dream, Nazarbayev University was always my first choice when I received the offer. So I decided to come here. And of course, during the first months, and I mean, I'm not only speaking for myself, I'm speaking for our international student community, we all experienced different stages of hardships and cultural shocks and language barrier. And also, we started to miss dearly our food, because some ingredients are not easy to find here in Kazakhstan. But somehow, we learned to cope, to survive, And the most important part that I will mention why Nazarbayev University is a very special university is that we all are a big family, a big multicultural family. And we all support each other. We all are proud of our talented students, alumni, and we have top-level facilities. And at the same time, our students are passionate and always looking forward to innovate, to bring new ideas to life. And this is one of the aspects that I bring with myself as currently a manager in my department, that Nazarbayev University teaches me many things. First of all was to get out of my comfort zone, become a leader for the community, because at that period of time, we weren't many international students in Nazarbayev University. Basically, when I arrived, we were around 15. Mostly persons from outside Central Asia, we were quite a few. Some of us, we were confused at first for Kazakhstani citizens, and I have some interesting stories that maybe later I will share. One of the parts that I was always grateful in my studies is the supportive faculty members. Actually, also, English is not my first language, and I had some difficulties to change to a new study modality, to be able to participate in discussions and to write academic papers. But always the part that I say about family of Nazarbayev University is that everyone is there for you. Faculty members, the students, and staff members always make sure that you feel here at home, and they work for your well-being. And this is very ingrained in the hospitality of the Kazakhstani society. And that's why Kazakhstan, it's a very special place that we have in our hearts. And Kazakhstan has become my second homeland. And if I have to say goodbye to this country one day, it will be so difficult, because actually Kazakhstan is in my soul. And of course, other parts that I would like to say is that I had the opportunity to participate in different initiatives as a student. I was collaborating with the Spanish club, and I always enjoy to promote my language and culture to persons here on campus and also in Nur Sultan City. Also, we set the foundations to create a grad union to be able to work in the interest and well-being of graduate students. And of course, to set the foundations to create a unified international community. An international community who looks for each other, supports each other, helps in any difficulties, and to, of course, make the channels of communication even better. And this is what I say always to our international students. You all are ambassadors of Kazakhstan in your home countries. And it's not just about coming here to Nazarbayev University, get intellectual knowledge, but also what you can offer in return to Nazarbayev University upon graduation. And this is, of course, continue promoting the language, the culture, the traditions of Kazakhstan, to establish a new cooperation with universities, with cultural institutions. And also, there are some students, and this is the part that I encourage them in my work, is if someone wants to stay in Kazakhstan, to give it a try, to give their best efforts, and to work hard for it. Because this is the legacy that representatives of the international community we are doing here. The legacy of staying here in Kazakhstan and contributing to the development of Kazakh economy and create new partnerships within our countries. And for the future, this is part of the projects that I would like to tell in the Mexican perspective. I would like to continue volunteering with the Embassy of Kazakhstan in Mexico. We are soon to create a group of Mexicans that will partner with the future consulates of Mexico in Almaty. And we are going to create some group of assistance for our citizens if there are questions related to migration, to visa, to life in Kazakhstan, tourism, investments. Because we are a group of persons of different educational backgrounds, and I'm sure that the cooperation with Mexico, or I mean Latin America in general, and Kazakhstan, will start very soon. And also, for our international student community, the purpose of being alumni is to continue being in touch with Nazarbayev University, not just obtaining the diploma and then not staying in touch with the university. Because actually our international students are very talented and they can continue to promote partnership between their home universities. And as an advice that I would like to give to younger generations is to always fight and stay true to your dreams. Continue dreaming. Dreams are awesome. Dreams make you feel very, very good in your well-being. It doesn't matter if life is complicated, because of course, life is not easy. And we all learn by mistakes. And by making these mistakes, we become a better version of ourselves. And don't get desperate if you don't get your dream job at first. Keep trying, keep growing intellectually, keep growing emotionally, and learn from people from different backgrounds. And love yourself, of course, for who you are. Share your talents, and have fun. This is the important part. Have fun, love your family, and take always the culture in your heart, wherever you will be in the future. Dear audience, Mr. Katsu and distinguished guests, we feel honored for allowing us to express our humble experiences and listen to our life stories. We are grateful for this magnificent opportunity to be representatives of our schools, departments, the students, and the alumni community. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for your speech. I want to say to the viewers, we will have just one small pause, technical pause, for 1 minute. And for those who are in here, we will have the session with our speakers, question and answer session. So if you have any questions, you may send them in the comments on the number I will show you later. Yeah, by looking at our speakers today, you may see the diversity of yeah, so I think we are ready to go. Now let me introduce you. I think, as you know, we have different schools. We have a lot of graduate schools. Some of the bachelors don't know about the schools, but we have the one school that's called GSB, and now we have the representative here. Class of 2018, sorry, from the Graduate School of Business, who is now the Deputy Chairman of National Bank of Kazakhstan. Please welcome Akhljan Baymagambetov.
Good afternoon, dear students, fellow alumni and faculty. My name is Akhljan Baymagambetov. I'm very pleased to be here today. I'm an executive MBA graduate class of 2018. I would like to start my speech with thanking the university staff and especially Mr. Shigeo Katsu for this opportunity to address students and to share my experience with the audience on such a special day. A decade ago, with the initiative of our first president, Nursultan Nazarbayev, our university was founded that is building an academic and research foundation for future generation of our country. We are all part of this institution, whether we are currently teaching or studying, or whether we are alumni who are now demonstrating how valuable the NU education and experience is on practice. We see my the previous speakers, and I believe all of them very fascinating people. As a graduate of Nazarbayev University Executive MBA, I can assure you from my personal experience that values and mission of NU, as well as the standards of teaching and knowledge, can play a crucial role in one's career. I would like to share my experience, and if it's okay with everyone, I will continue in Russian. Ну, организаторы попросили меня рассказать о себе. Я, если честно, родился в Алмате, как тогда говорили, простой семье советской интеллигенции. Мои родители были врачами, бабушка, дедушка с одной стороны сельские учителя, с другой стороны тоже медики. И вот так получилось, что несмотря на то, что у родителей врачи, сам я посвятил свою профессиональную жизнь такой финансово-экономической сфере. Причем выбрал свой путь, поступив на финансово-экономический факультет в свое время в Алмате, в достаточно смутное время, когда одна большая страна разрушилась, и на ее обломках возникали новые государства, и в целом экономика находилась в транзите от плановой к рыночной экономике. Начал свою карьеру я в стенах Национального банка, и к моменту поступления и окончания Назарбаев университета у меня уже за спиной был почти 20-летний опыт работы как в Центральном банке, так и в коммерческих банках. Ну, вот хотел бы сказать, что мой опыт Executive MBA программы показал, что, как это может не банально звучит, там, знаниям нет предела совершенству, можно, что когда касается это знаний и обучения. На самом деле, что такое бизнес-школа? Бизнес-школа – это, наверное, больше не про теорию того, как, когда тебе приходит. На самом деле, вот это было классное ощущение, и я думал, когда вот это мне открылась такая возможность, чтобы здесь, в Казахстане, пройти обучение в бизнес-школе по программе, вот именно то, что называется World Class University, по программе одной из самых известных бизнес-школ, Дюк Фукуа школы бизнеса, и с профессорами, которые вот реально преподают в Дюк университете в Соединенных Штатах. И наша резиденция, одна из резиденций, она была именно в Соединенных Штатах. Мы ездили в университет Дюка. Вот. И я на тот момент подумал, это, наверное, действительно такой шанс раз в жизни предоставляется, надо им обязательно воспользоваться. И я до сих пор не жалею об этом. Бизнес-школа – это скорее, вот наша когорта – это где-то 3 десятка опытных управленцев из совершенно разных сфер. Медицина, инженеры были с нами, железнодорожники, государственные чиновники, банкиры, финансисты, предприниматели. И мы обсуждали разные кейсы, задачи, и ты видишь, что на самом деле зачастую, действительно, вот это вот избитое, что у задачи есть только один правильный ответ, оно не всегда правда на самом деле. Это раз. Во-вторых, к правильному решению можно прийти совершенно разными путями. И вот опыт бизнес-школы – это то, когда вот именно ты видишь, как люди с разным опытом по-разному решают задачу, приходят к ответу разными путями, дают эффективные пути решения. Вот именно это обогащает. Вот. И роль там профессора уже фасилитировать это, и правильные давать наставления какие-то, приводить вот эти все твои накопленные знания и те знания, которыми вы поделились опытом с коллегами, с друзьями, с однокурсниками в систему. Вот. Начинал я, поступал, будучи директором департамента, в процессе обучения стал руководителем одной из дочерних компаний самого Национального банка, уже начал отвечать за управление активами, потом за гарантирование депозитов. Но так получилось, что где-то через 1,5-2 года после окончания университета я стал заместителем председателя Национального банка. Сейчас отвечаю за денежно-кредитную политику, за вопросы макроэкономического прогнозирования. Мы прогнозируем, что будет в стране, каким будет ВВП, что будет с инфляцией, финансовую стабильность, статистику, бухгалтерский счет. Разные направления так или иначе связаны с вот этой, наверное, одной из самых главных задач Центрального банка. И тут, конечно, такой хороший вопрос. Совпадение ли это или не совпадение? Конечно, с одной стороны, можно сказать, это совпадение. С другой стороны, я могу четко сказать о том, что обучение в школе бизнеса, оно не прошло даром. Это помогло мне систематизировать многие мои знания, обогатить, познакомиться с большим количеством реально очень интересных людей, эффективных управленцев. Ну и просто на самом деле в этом возрасте еще раз окунуться в студенческую жизнь, это тоже был на самом деле определенный фан. Вот. Поэтому и я в каком-то смысле, вы знаете, что Центральный банк раньше находился в Алмате, и тут я 2 года, каждый уикенд практически проводил в Астане, ныне городе Нур-Султан. Сейчас Центральный банк переехал, год уже как переехал сюда, и находится Национальный банк в Нур-Султане, и этот город мне реально уже знаком. Вот. И поэтому очень много позитивных эмоций связано с Назарбаев университетом. Вот. Ну, а с точки зрения того, что он собой представляет, это, наверное, действительно такой определенный проект наследия. Да? То есть, и для страны, я думаю, очень важно именно развитие человеческого капитала. Human capital, human capacity – это залог будущего развития. И в экономике, в окружающей действительности, когда объем знаний начинает удваиваться там, за несколько лет, на самом деле нужно постоянно развиваться, постоянно чему-то учиться, изучать. Вот здесь правильно один из предыдущих спикеров сказал о том, что университет, он дает, может быть, не столько какие-то твердые знания, гранит науки, сколько умение добывать эту информацию, да, обсуждать ее, пытаться выработать решение, причем в реальной жизни же решение ты вырабатываешь в условиях недостатка информации. И вот именно вот эти навыки, они очень важны. И поэтому in this context, education and training is a powerhouse of future economic growth. Not only of our country, but global development in general. As I said, having such an institution as Nazarbayev University in Kazakhstan provides our country with a strong foundation on which the future growth and prosperity can be built on. So on this note, I would like to send the following message to our current students. Thrive in your studies. Take advantages of the opportunities laid out in front of you. The values and mission of Nazarbayev University will help you in achieving your career and life goals. And one more, I would also like to congratulate all of you with the 10th anniversary of Nazarbayev University and forthcoming day of our capital. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kaljan. Thank you for your time. It's very nice to meet you. For all those young alumni, I will have an advice. You should have more friends from GSB. Okay. Okay, dear viewers, dear friends, we'll have now just 1 minute, again, technical pause. We may now proceed to the question and answer session to our speakers. So if you have any, if you have any questions to any of the speakers, you may leave your question in the comments on YouTube or send it via WhatsApp or Telegram to this number, and I will address this question to our speakers. Okay, and now we will just change the view of the camera and start. But I think I will ask one question, and and one of the speakers will answer it. I have a personal question to Aygirim Abdiorazdo, because you know the pandemic, the quarantine. No, we will have the microphone given to you. Okay, so my question will be: could you please, as a head of one of the big medical center in our capital and the former graduate, the former student of Nazarbayev University School of Medicine, could you please tell how our alumni are doing in the field of medicine? Are their knowledge and skills they obtained here are feasible to the Kazakhstani medical system? And could you please tell us more about how we are doing in the field of medicine? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's an excellent question.
Just 1 minute, okay.
Yes, of course. Sorry. He has to follow me around everywhere now. Okay. So thank you very much. That was an excellent question. In fact, that was one of the things I really wanted to talk about in my speech, but because of the time limitedness and because we've had COVID all the time now, I thought people are tired of it, so why include it in your speech and remind everyone again about this whole pandemic that's going on? But of course, it's all around us and we have to talk about it, we have to mention it, we have to discuss it, we have to overcome it, at least do everything we can to do so. And to be honest, it's one of the things that I'm very proud of, that I was a part of the Nazarbayev University School of Medicine, because, well, first of all, from my personal experience, the hospital that I'm working at transformed several times from a cardiac surgery hospital into a COVID-only hospital, treated so many patients. Many of them had the chance to survive. Of course, we lost quite a few patients. The difficulties that the medical profession carries with itself. But focusing on the positive part, after the first, let's say, wave of COVID came down, my colleagues and me, myself, we initiated a post-COVID patient diagnostic program. We and analyzed it and came up with the recommendations that then were passed on to the Ministry of Health, and based on what the post-COVID centers were opening up in the different parts of the country. Also, I wanted to mention the alumni of the medical doctor program, because those brave young professionals were the first ones who created the Med Support Instagram page, Facebook page, and during the times when the medical workers needed the help the most, they were, Botagas is here, they were the ones who were doing all this searching on the internet, in the publications, translating them and sharing them with the medical community so that they can use the latest knowledge, the latest research results in their work of helping patients survive. And also I wanted to say that now in the hospital where I'm working, we have many Nazarbayev University graduates, alumni, and it's truly a very proud moment for me to thank them. Some of them are, I know, watching now. So it's my colleagues, it's my alumni peers, so thank you very much for all the work that you're doing.
Okay, thank you much again for your answer. My next question will be addressed, I think, to Sandra. Actually, we have the two questions. I will try to make it more clear for you. First question: what was the most shocking thing you faced when you came to Kazakhstan? The most shocking, for you personally. And second question will be how you see the future of ENU in terms of growing the number of international students, and why it's important to have international students at Nazarbayev University and in Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your questions. So the most shocking experience, well, I think that the most shocking experience for me was the weather. I think that, of course, this is something that we can all relate if we come from countries which the winter is probably +10, +15 degrees. But it was difficult for me because I learned it from scratch, how to dress for the winter. And of course, I had many failures on the way, in a sense that I didn't pick up correctly the jackets, the gloves, and waterproof clothes. And I learned in the hard way, which was that I got sick frequently during my first year. Later on, probably I got stronger. And I learned all the places where you can find affordable and good quality winter clothes. And this is what I do with our students, take them to those places. And we pick together and tell them all the advices they should know to survive. But of course, this is not just about staying inside the campus and not exploring. There is time in the winter where you can see the different activities that the city offers, of course, with some precautions. And another part that I always tell them is diet. To be able to always have your source of vitamin D, your source of mushrooms and proteins. But later on, everyone adapts to this. And what I tell as some sort of like think that it will be an achievement for our students is that if they survive the first year, the winter conditions of -30, they are legends. And with this, they can live world after that. So, well, this is, for me, it was the part of the temperature. And in terms of the future of Nazarbayev University with a growing international population, well, there are also, of course, it looks good on picture to envision for 2025, a population of 8% of internationals. But at the same time, we also have to face reality somehow, in a sense that, of course, there will be people from certain nationalities, that it will be more easier to come to Kazakhstan because of the distance, because of the cultural affinity. And for others, it might be more complicated because of the price of the tickets and the distance that separates. And yes, also the part of the promotion. Promotion should be increased, not only considering certain countries as part of the first strategy, but think in the future and work with embassies of Kazakhstan in different countries. Because actually there was one opportunity that we had, and we were surprised that with the embassy of Kazakhstan in Mexico, it was like 2 months ago, we were able to invite candidates not only from Mexico, but from Latin America in general to attend the info sessions about the admissions. And I remember I and Laura Palanova, and also Maulien, from my colleague from my office, we were so happy and so proud to see 20 persons attending this event. And it was just something unbelievable. Because mostly our enrollments of international students, like the majority of the population that we have now, are from Nigeria, from Pakistan, from the Russian Federation, from Kyrgyzstan. But it's surprising to see that there is interest. And part of this interest is the constant promotion in social media, continuing offering these opportunities to attend the special sessions. And also another part that is important in my work duties is to have a close contact with the candidates, like through the side of admissions, through the side also of inviting international alumni in the future. And by that, the future students will be able to see persons that were alumni of the institution. And they are successful in what they are doing. And that they plan projects to continue collaborating with Kazakhstan. And with this, we can continue like increasing the interest. And also like another interest that I see that is now like very prevalent is that students are also choosing Kazakhstan because they are interested in learning about the language and the culture. And this is thanks to popular figures. So we all are aware that there is a very popular singer, Dimash Kudaibergen. So Dimash Kudaibergen somehow has connected persons from around the world that are interested in coming here to Kazakhstan, and some even to find opportunities to be enrolled in educational institutions. So I think that the perspectives are very, very good. Of course, maybe if we don't reach the numbers, but still continue trying, not giving up in the process. And this is our task as an alumni, as the future of the university, all to unite and to continue working hard to make a list of talented students from our countries, to refer all the contacts as much as possible to the admissions department, to continue being attentive, because actually our cooperation starts even when they are students, because some of our students that are here, they encourage their friends, acquaintances to apply to Nazarbayev University. So they know each other, they are giving advice. Also, our students, our senior students know about how to cope with, how to survive. So we all stay constantly connected. And this is the part of how our community, step by step, is growing and is going to be successful. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have some people who are sitting here, so if you have any questions, please send them, and I will address it to the speakers. But again, we have the time limit, so my next question will be addressed to Akılcan. Akılcan, I have again 2 questions. I will combine them. One is informal question, and second is more formal question. Okay. So informal question will be is that how often do you meet your classmates from JSB? And are you mentoring young graduates or alumni from Nazarbayev University or any other universities? Because some people ask about the mentoring. That was the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is how does the National Bank of Kazakhstan doing regarding of the recruitment of Nazarbayev University graduates? So are you doing the job offers to the Nazarbayev University graduates or not? So that was the question. Is it clear? Is it okay?
Ну, давайте.
Akılcan, could you please, we just had, thank you very much, just for the people who are watching.
Ну, наверное, про выпускников, про общение с своими однокурсниками, я скажу, что у нас до сих пор чат существует по нашей группе, и мы друг с другом переписываемся. Что касается того, что да, мы теперь в Нур-Султане, и на самом деле мы находимся в партнерстве с Назарбаев университетом. GSB имеет даже специальную программу Master of Science in Finance, которую частично спонсирует Национальный банк. И мы поэтому регулярно, каждый год на самом деле рассматриваем выпускников Назарбаев университета для того, чтобы принять их на работу в Национальный банк. И вот, к примеру, буквально вот в эти дни вот, так что fresh graduates, please welcome to the National Bank. Вот, естественно, мы, конечно, рассматриваем все резюме, но вот именно с Назарбаев университетом у нас есть такая программа, вот, и она немножко частично ориентирована в том числе и на нужды Центрального банка, и поэтому мы очень рады, и я думаю, выпускникам сейчас гораздо комфортнее в том плане, что и работать тогда в Нур-Султане. Раньше нужно было приезжать на работу в Алмату после учебы в этом городе, а теперь это здесь все. Вот, надеюсь.
Спасибо большое. Да, вы ответили на вопрос. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, dear participants, due to the time limit, I think I'm very sorry, but we need to stop the Q&A session because we also have the small presentation at the end. There is also one GSB alumni right here, my colleague, who is an executive director of Alumni JSB. So I would like to give a speech to the Asya Aymusheva, full-time MBA class of 2018. Yeah, please, sir.
Thank you, Arman. Dear President Katsu, dear Provost Adesida, dear Khadisha Nurtuldinovna, all faculty, staff, students and alumni. We are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the independence of our country and the 10th anniversary of our university. And, you know, all of you, I think, know Nurasul Jarbasov. He is the chairman of the board of Alumni Association of our Graduate School of Business. and he is alumna of Executive MBA program in 2016. He conveys his regards and congratulations to you all, but unfortunately he couldn't join this wonderful event today. And he asked me to tell you that when he was faced with the choice of Executive MBA program, actually he had like all the opportunities to go to study abroad. But he and having already applied, all this excellent knowledge, all these useful skills obtained during the program, he can say, and like all of us can say, that all of us, we made the right choice. We are glad and proud that professors, researchers, and scientists from all over the world come to our university to teach and to do their research, to share their knowledge, experience, and more, like foreign students come into our alma mater and they choose our academic programs here in Nazarbayev University. So 3 years ago, in May 2018, at the alumni reunion of our business school, our chairman, Nurasil, presented the idea of Alumni Association of Graduate School of Business of Nazarbayev University. Then, the non-profit organization Alumni of Nazarbayev University Graduate School of Business was officially registered in 2019 as a resident of Astana International Financial Center. In its strategic development of the intellectual, creative, and business potential of all the graduates. In 3 years, as you can see, like on this presentation, a very big and important work has been done, and it continues so far. We are eager to build and to form this friendly community. We are eager to share our knowledge and skills. We regularly hold these wonderful networking events. We implement charity initiatives and projects, and we support our school and our university. We are open to all of our students and graduates. We are ready to support them in their ambitious business and social projects. And in order to be an active community of our society, and enjoy all the benefits, you do not need some entrance fee. But what you need, only your positive attitude to business, your enthusiasm and desire to give back for the benefit of our community, of our university, and of our country. So, on behalf of our Alumni Association, I wish all NU alumni, present and future, always to be proactive and to deploy all these many great opportunities, all these excellent values and benefits that our university offers to us, including all this great networking during and after the completion of studies, all this excellent knowledge, experience, and high moral qualities of our community members. All of us, we are real experts, we are real professionals from various fields and industries. And we have this spirit of mutual trust, of mutual assistance, and mutual support in our community. So thank you very much, for this life-changing experience, for this excellent education. Thank you for your attention, and one more time, I greet you on the upcoming holiday. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sid, very much. Actually, that's kind of the end of the forum. At the end, we had the presentation of a new alumni association. But I think you can find more information about our activities on our social media. So to all the viewers and all present here, I want to say that I actually congratulate the class of 2021 of getting the diploma and upcoming graduation. Yes, I'm inviting you to join a new alumni JSB, and be active member of alumni community. Follow us on our social media, and thank you for watching us. That's, I think, the end for our YouTube translation. Again, thank you very much for your time. For everybody sitting here, thank you very much for coming. As I said before, we are doing all the precautions, we are doing all the sanitary checkup in order to keep it safe for everyone. So again, be safe, and thanks for coming. Are we still live?